Welcome to our Gen Con coverage video, which I will now do through an interpretive dance for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Indiana. I've never been to Indiana. Have you been to Indiana? It's very American. I've never seen anything more American. It's more American than cheesy buffalo wings. I don't know what cheesy buffalo wings are, but they sound American. Have you tried them? I think they're pretty good. I'm sorry for the wind. There's a lot of wind, which is so not normal because Indiana is really frigging hot. And on top of that, it's very, very friendly. I mean, it's like an avalanche of buffaloes of friendliness, and I'm in love. This place is great. It's really good. Gen Con is very big, possibly even bigger than my shed, but what's most surprising is just the variety of things you can do there. You don't just have the games, you can do anything. You can meet famous designers, find some really terrible artwork, or even kilts. I've probably seen more kilts in Gen Con than I have in Scotland. One of the things that I'm really excited about is that I finally get to meet my friend John, who I've never met before in real life, and he's here in fact, there he is! Yo, dog, let's talk about cool games, because you're watching a cool Gen Con video, and, you know, let's face it, you're just here to see games, really. So, we got all kinds of games, space games, mirror games, even bicycle games. So let's take you to the place where we tell you about games. Games!
Good evening and welcome to the Hot Opinions Lab. And this time, because we're not in England and we're in a warm place, it really actually is hot because it's made of metal and not stone.
Honk honk!
I played a game called Spirit Island, which does what it says on the tin. It's about an island of spirits. You are the spirits, and it's a cooperative game, which is really nice. And the boards are completely asymmetrical, so you're all playing something different, but you're all working with each other to try and get the island rid of these hideous invaders that have come in. But the way you get rid of them is by scaring them away, which was really cool. But we weren't very scary. As a party, we were kind of fluffy and didn't scare them away easily, so the game took a bit longer than it should have. But it was still really fun, and I had a good time. And the pieces are really cute as well, and they fit in the box so nicely, and the whole thing is just such a good overall experience. I had a really good time.
You know what else is a good time? Your face. But also Meeple Circus, which was probably one of the best surprising highlights of Gen Con 2017. Me and Elaine had secretly played a prototype of Meeple Circus at Spiel 2016, which is like a year ago, and we were trying to tell people about this amazing game that we played, and every time we tried to describe it, everyone was like, And I get how it comes across like that, because it is a game of just stacking silly meeples together on top of each other with a timer whilst circus music is blaring at you. But I am telling you straight away, it's more fun than it sounds. And John is our living proof, because he said that was one of his favorite experiences of the convention. And if you want to see Meeple Circus in action, here's me stacking my artisan troupe of circus performers with a stipulation of having to introduce everyone as I do that. Right, okay, so this is Bobo the elephant, and this is Cedric, his best friend. They grew up together, and they shared like a cage. Cedric lived in a cage because he was just like really fond of animals. This is Pete, he's just a dude that works in the circus. He's nothing special. And this is his balloon. They were married for a long time, but now they're separated. There's a lot of tension in this circus thing that they do. This is Ant and Dec, not to be confused with Ant and Dec. And this is just a plank, or Mr. Plank. Mr. Blank has these two, what are they? I don't know. Barrels. Yeah, and they are Pete and Dudley Moore, known as, they used to be comedians in England, but they died and reincarnated as barrels, and that's their horse, the nun. It's a flying nun. Pete and Dudley going back. Unfortunately not as successful, probably mostly because of Arthur. Arthur's down there. And finally, the pièce de résistance, his name is Piers. There we go. I'm good with that.
Yeah. We've eaten a lot of crap. Delicious, delicious crap. Waffles and chicken with maple syrup. Things that you wouldn't even dream of putting together. But they have them here. They have everything here. It's amazing. And then I had to go and walk for like 40 minutes to go and buy some fruit because we were dying inside. So I went and bought loads of fruit to kind of counterbalance the chicken and the waffles and the fries and the burgers and the cupcake flavoured milkshakes and whatever else we've had. It's amazing.
Don't believe us? Here's Elaine's first impressions of waffle chicken, a dish that has waffle, fried chicken, maple syrup and strawberries.
I'm not sure.
You're allowed to dislike it.
No, I don't dislike it, but I'm confused as to why I don't dislike it. Like,
I'm confused by what it is. You're worrying me.
It tastes like chicken with maple syrup on it. Is what it tastes like.
But it's not bad.
But it's not bad. But
Yeah, that's what's weird about it.
It's like if someone said, okay, like, here's some carrots and they've got chocolate on, and you were like, really? And then you ate it and you were like, actually, this doesn't make any sense, but it's actually very good.
To everyone in America, this is probably normal. But friends from England, this is a biscuit, which is a cheese cone that you get for free, just for eating here. But on top of that, it comes with a jam that is strawberries, but also have jalapenos on it. Hong Kong! USA is clearly very cultured when it comes to food, but since we're not just in USA, but in the continent of America for the first time, we thought it would be prudent to learn a little bit more about its neighboring country, Canada. And who better to teach us than the resident Canadian expert, the Mountie of my board game bounty, Rodney Smith himself, and whilst we're playing a game of, I think it's called Okanagan to boot, which is a game set in Canada. Basically, it's very thematically appropriate. So this man that's wearing this hat, is that like a typical Canadian man? Is that what you would wear in Canada?
Yeah, we wear hats, sure.
And do you just buy it like at a Canadian store?
At a store? In Canada, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with this farm, that's a warehouse, I think, actually. Do you have like warehouses in Canada?
Yes, we have warehouses in Canada.
And they're like this long?
Some of them are that long.
Okay.
Sure.
What about this log? Is this like a typical Canadian log? And these lakes, do you have lakes?
We have trees and we have lakes and we have water. Yes.
Okay.
This is what you'd find in Canada.
Okay. And wheat? Do you eat apples in Canada?
Apples, apple pie, applesauce, all of it. Yes.
Yeah.
All of those things.
It's just not just maple.
We have maple too, but that's not the only thing we have.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to take my turn here.
Sure. No, that's fine. That's fine. What about this tree? Is that like a Canadian tree? Do they grow trees?
It's a tree. It's probably Canadian. Yes.
There's a fisherman here. Do you have like fishermen in Canada?
I'm sure that's a Canadian fisherman. Yes. Yes, Efka.
I think that's a sack. Do you have any sacks?
Yeah, we do. We sure do.
I'm not sure that they do actually.
We do. We have them. Everyone has them.
Crank up that funky music because I'm about to tell you about the best game I've played at this convention, and that's Seventh Continent, a sort of semi-choose-your-own-adventure thing with thousands of cards. And boasting hundreds of hours of playtime, it's very good. It's ridiculously ambitious in its scope, and one would never imagine that game would work at all. But somehow, It just does. Seventh Continent is not for sale at Thingamy that we're at, Gen Con. Yes, and it's probably one of the best games I've played in years. Now, take that with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because hey, I've only played like 2 hours of it, and a campaign session apparently can last 20, but you don't have to do the whole 20. It's fine, don't worry, it's not Twilight Imperium. You can play it in multiple sessions and just come back to it and pack it away and play it again, and it's this really strange mix of a bit of unlock and a bit of choose your own adventure, you know, like fighting fantasy, and none of those things terribly like speak to me. I like all of them, they're fine, but there's something so magical about the combination of them in Seventh Continent, and the elegance of the design of the rulebook that doesn't really teach you even like half of the rules, but then you start playing it and they're so intuitive and they don't even need to be explained. You just know what you have to do, and the story evolves, it progresses. We will have a lot more to say about Seventh Continent in our review video, which we're definitely going to work on. But my God, am I in love?
This, my friend, is an arena!
No, that, my friends, is Tony from Marty and Tony from Rolling Dice and Taking Names, a podcast, one of the many podcasts about gaming. But here's the cool thing about Gen Con: many of these podcasts and video casts and pen casts have meetups, and meetups are the best parties because the coolest people like us go there and hang out and eat moon pies and apparently play in an elaborately organized Strike tournament, which has two sides, one being Strike, which is a dice game with arena gladiator combat, but then the other side was just playing the Tupperware in a bowl version. I don't get it, but honestly, I am so ambivalent about Strike that I decided to join the side of Tupperware bowls with dice and proceeded to lose in the very first round. But it's okay, because Marty, who was the head of our side, now he's definitely not gonna lose this, because the consequences of losing, he's gonna make sure that his team carries on, because I know for a fact this man will not let his pride get injured.
Am I proud?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, I'm not proud.
Are you proud?
Yeah, he's proud.
I would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened?
Lost. I lost the tournament last night.
And you have to wear this now?
And I have to wear this.
I'm proud of it. I am proud of it.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, you know, listen, I'm here for you.
Honk honk! Okay, everybody calm down, but we're about to play Twilight Imperium 4th edition. Are you scared, Elaine?
I am scared, Elaine.
Petrified?
Terrified.
Anxious?
Frightened.
Bamboozled?
Efka, bamboozled is not a synonym for scared.
Yes, the behemoth returns. Okay, let's be fair, we didn't play a full game of Twilight Imperium 4 because it's Gen Con and we didn't have enough time. But we played about half of it, and boy were we all impressed. People who hated the game don't hate it anymore, and people who like the game really love it, and it's all sleek, fast, streamlined. There's lots of cool ships. Explaining it isn't hard. Reading the new rulebook isn't hard. And yes, it's still long, but it's not as long as it was before. And I can tell you straight away that the thing I wanted to do most was just keep on playing. And guess what I'm doing when this video finishes? I'm gonna go and play Twilight Imperium 4. And you can be jealous, but it's okay. Our video is coming very, very soon. Well, friends, it's time to sign out because we're here at Indianapolis International Airport and there's a total eclipse. Yeah, and you have totally eclipsed our hearts, and because you've done that, you need to click the subscribe button down below and like or not like or leave a comment, or I mean, it's time for us to go. Bye.
John, what's your favorite color? Are you sure that's a good idea? Oh, camel. I'll take it. Go ahead.
I don't know where the courtesy goes.
No, stop, stop. Sorry, don't do that. Don't
All right, I'll just call it.